Hello and welcome to another video of the Zon Tool tutorial series. In this video I'm gonna give you an overview of what the PGNs are, and we just launched a PGN 2.0, which is some very strong improvement on what we had before. So what is a PGN? PGN is a product, PGN is short for product group name, and our proprietary to Zon Tool, proprietary campaign and ad group setups that our system generate and fully automate for you in order to leverage the full potential of Amazon matching algorithm and sponsor product API while stay within Amazon TOS. PGN can be created with just the click of a button and really few amount of information. This is an example, a screenshot of the PGN creation wizard, where we simply ask you what the PGN, what's the product group name you will want to use, what's your unit selling price, what's your average star rating of the product you want to advertise within this PGN, what's the maximum keyword spend, so the maximum amount of money you want to spend on a keyword without a sale before we take an action, before we pause, what will be your target ACOS, which generally is around your profit margin, what will be your default bid that will be used across the PGN, across this serial ecosystem of campaigns, and what will be your daily overall budget for this PGN, for this product. And this budget will be split down amongst the 5 campaigns that compose this PGN. Additionally, there are some advanced settings which you don't need because we do have default settings, but in case you want, they are there. We will ask you what SKUs you want to advertise within this PGN, and we will ask you an initial set of keywords or ASINs that you would like to target. So, and once you've done this, you just hit Save New Product, and that's it. And we will go about creating the PGN. Now, what is the PGN composed of? So the PGN 2.0 is, like I said before, is our latest iteration, and it includes the new product attribute targeting campaigns and the new enhanced auto targeting. The structure of the new improved PGN is this. So a PGN is composed by an exact campaign, a phrase campaign, a broad campaign. Each of these 3 campaigns will initially be created with 1 ad group, but this amount of ad groups will grow the more keywords you add, or the more keywords automatically grow. The more keywords you add, or the more keywords we mine for you. There is a limit of 1,000 keywords per ad group, and we simply go whenever you reach the limit, whether it is because you give us 2,000 keywords to start with, or because we mine more than 1,000 keywords, we will go about creating the additional ad groups for you within the exact campaign, the phrase campaign, and the broad campaign. The auto campaign will be created with simply 1 ad group inside, which will be the enhanced auto targeting, which I will cover in details later. And the path campaign will be created with 4 different ad groups within it, and each ad groups will have its specific strategy, which I will cover in a moment. As far as I mentioned before that we will give a default bid and we will give a daily budget. The way we will allocate the default bid and the daily budget is like this. So for the exact campaign, we will use 30% of the daily budget and 100% of the default bid. For the phrase campaign, we will dedicate to it 20% of your daily budget, and we will use 80% of your default bid. For the broad campaign, we will use 15% of your daily budget, and we will bid 60% of your default bid. For the auto campaign, we will use 10% of the daily budget, and we will bid only 40% of your default bid. As far as the PAT, the path campaign, we will allocate 25% of your overall PGN product budget to it, and as far as the bids, the default bids that we use, they will vary. We will use 100% of default for the defense. We will use 80% for the ASIN ad group. We will use both for the brand and category. We will use a mix of default bid. This is a typo. Now, the way we select the budget allocation and the bid amount is based on the likelihood of for you to convert. Exact match and defense ad groups and async ad groups have the highest likelihood for you to convert in a sale, whereas phrase, broad, and auto, and the brand and category down here, they are research entities, research campaign, research ad group, which have less likelihood to convert. So in order to risk less money, we will budget slightly less and we will bid slightly less on those. Now, let's cover one by one these 5 entities. So the exact campaign is an offensive campaign. We attack other keywords. As I say, we will use 30% daily allocated budget and 100% of the default bid. Here we will be targeting only the exact match keyword, and it will be a repository both for your initial set of keywords as well as for any search term that our automation will identify as profitable and mine in automation for you. The phrase campaign will be a research campaign. We will allocate 20% of the budget to it, and being a research is likely less likely to convert, so we will use 80% of your default bid. Here we will be targeting only phrase matches, keywords, and it will be a repository both for all the good terms that you will add, and we will also test them at phrase match, as well as for all the terms that our automation will mine for you. It's important to note that when we go about to create a PGN, we will negate all the keywords that you're putting in exact match. We will negate them away from the phrase campaign. This is in order to avoid search term collision and leverage search term isolation. So you want to isolate the container, exact, phrase, and broad, so not to bid for the same search term in more than a location, more than a place, in more than a campaign. The next one is a broad campaign, and this is also a research campaign. For the broad campaign, we will allocate 50% of the daily budget and 60% of the default bid. This is exactly as the phrase match before. Being a research, we will add any customer search term that we mine for you or keywords that you might add as a broad match in order to identify a new opportunity for you to expand your reach and new search term to bid on, not new longer tail search term to bid on. Also here we will leverage search term isolation, so we will negate all the keywords that you add to PGN will be negated as phrase match away from the broad. The auto campaign is going to be a research campaign or ad group with the new EAT targeting, so enhanced auto targeting. Now auto by default will have 4 entities for different targets within the ad group. Will be a loose match, so this specific target that will be created by default by Amazon within your auto ad group. This will go about matching your product to broadly related customer term searches. The close match will go about matching your product and your ad with highly relevant customer term searches. The substitutes will target product detail page, so we'll target other people products, and the substitute specifically will target direct competitors. So if you're selling a silicone spatula, this specific target will bid on other silicone spatula products, whereas the complements, which is the 4th target the auto campaign will create, will show your ads on product detail pages of products that are either complements or accessories of yours. It's just a note, autos were weird animals before, and we're still now very weird animals. And the last bit, so the 5th campaign we will create for you. So we covered the exact, we covered the phrase, we covered the broad, and we covered the auto. So the 5th campaign that we will create for you is the PAT, the product attribute targeting. So this is a very, very, very new feature that Amazon launched just recently at the end of 2018. This allows you to do what the auto campaign used to be only able to do, but now we can do it with a PAT, with PAT, and we can be very, very precise. So we can go and target specific product detail page, specific competitors, or even our own products with our own advertising. Or also we can target specific subcategories for a broader reach of our ads. In addition, the subcategories can be further refined or further filtered or segmented in brands, price range, and star rating. And that's why at the beginning, when you go about creating a PGN, we need to know your price, the product price, and your star rating, because we will use the data to create a very thorough segmentation of all the targets. PAT can only be used at ad group level, so you cannot have a PAT campaign, but you can have a PAT ad group, and you can negate asins away from a PAT, and that's fantastic because if you are bidding on an asin that is not working, you now can negate the asin or pause or edit the bid. And PAT show up in all the position that a keyword will show up, but all the pages a keyword search will show up, but in different locations. The first ad group that we will create within the PAT campaign is the defense ad group. This ad group will be, the goal of this ad group is to defend your listing, is to take as much real estate as possible within your own listing with your own product in order to improve customer retention. As I say here we're going to target individual product, we're going to target all your catalog. So this ad group will go about targeting all your catalog. And this specific target, the way we'll behave, will be very, very similar to a exact keyword. And this is, allow me to see if I can show you this one. So just to give you an idea of, yes, it's working. So I'm gonna just play this. I'm gonna show you where this defensive ad group will feature your product. Let me keep up the quality. The state that you will be able to bid on, to auction on with your PAT campaigns and ad groups. And in specific over here, we are seeing the defensive strategy into place. So we see this is a listing that is called Miley, is a brand Miley, and we see that this brand is doing an excellent job into defending its own listing. As a matter of fact, you can see that in the sponsor product related to this item, you can pretty much only see Miley, 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 Miley items. So this brand, this person, which is not me, it's not my brand, this product is doing a really, really good job with this defensive strategy, and this is the same strategy you will be able to leverage with just a click of a button within our PGN structure. So moving on, we covered the defense. Now we go about explaining what the asin ad group within the PAT campaign will do. So this is an offensive. So before we cover the defense, like playing chess, we defend our listing, and once our listing is defended and we retain as much traffic as possible within our own brand, we can go about attacking our asins. And this is the goal of the asin ad group. So within the asin ad group, we will target exact specific asin, all the one that Amazon will suggest us your submitted SKUs are relevant to. Roughly 200, we're going to go about targeting the top 200 listings Amazon tell us, the API tell us your product is relevant to, and these are also exact matches. Similar to an exact match. The third ad group we're gonna create for you will be a brand ad group. In this ad group, you can see this ad group as a research ad group, very similar to a phrase campaign or phrase ad group I showed earlier. Here, what we will do, we will target all brands within your suggested category. So based on the SKU that you submit as for advertisement, Amazon will tell us what categories those items are relevant to. And based on the categories, those items are relevant to or suggested categories, Amazon will give us the 50 top brands within those categories. So what we do, we take every single category that Amazon tells us you're relevant to, and within each of those categories, we identify the top 50 brands that are your competitor, and for each of those brands, we go about segmenting their catalog in 4 different ways. So we will bid on brands but refined by higher price, lower rating. This is the highest likelihood of conversion because you're bidding on items that are more expensive than you but shittier than yours. So here we will use 100% of the full bid because we have the highest likelihood of conversion. Then we will bid on lower price, lower rating brands. So we filter the brand by lower price and lower rating. This you have a slightly less likelihood of conversion, so you're going to use 80% of your default bid. Then we're going to segment those brands by higher price, higher rating. So more expensive product with higher rating. So they are more expensive, but they have higher rating, so they could be perceived as higher value product. So you have even less likelihood to convert, so 60%. And the fourth segment we're going to use is lower price, higher rating. So on this one, you really have very small chances of conversion. It's really about what you offer, what different is within your product compared to the one you're targeting, because you are selling something more expensive or a shittier star rating. So because of this risk, we're going to just bid 40% of your default bid that you set up initially at PGN when you created PGN. Now, I somehow showed you what's inside the PGN. Now I'm going to cover the PGN 2.0 automation, so automation that works specifically only within a PGN and are available to you only if you have a Dominator plan, which is our highest plan. There are 4 specific automations that we have within a PGN. Keyword Miner. Keyword Miner engine will constantly scan your report, short-term report, and add any relevant converting custom short-term report back within our system. Let me move this one around. So, okay. Let's put it stays here. Okay. So for each search term, each time we find a profitable, relevant search term within a search term report, we're going to take it out and add it as a keyword. We will add it in the exact campaign, in the exact match. We will add it in the phrase campaign, both in a phrase match, but also at negative exact. And we add it in the broad campaign, in broad match, but also in negative phrase. This again is to leverage a search term isolation. Similar to Keyword Miner, we have now Target Miner, which is its brother. It does the same, but while Keyword Miner used to scan your search term report, Target Miner will scan your target reports. So we'll scan the reports from the category, from a brand, and from the auto campaign, and will identify ASINs that you've been converting favorably on, and mine them and add them to our PAT campaign. We will add them inside your aggressive ad group, which is the ASIN ad group, and we will negate them away from the category, we will negate them away from the brand ad group, and we will negate them away from the auto ad group. This again to maintain ASIN isolation, this one product isolation. So these two are the good ones. So we find good ASINs, good search term, and we mine them. And then we have Terminator and Asinator that does just the opposite. They find search terms that make you bleed money, search terms that are not relevant or not converting within your search threshold, and we go about negating them. Terminator is will act on the customer search terms report. Whenever we find a search term that is not behaving within your threshold, that is making you bleed money, we will take and negate it. Will negate it in a phrase campaign, an exact match, we'll negate it in the broad campaign at exact match, and we will negate it in the auto campaign an exact match, so to make sure that you don't bid ever again on that specific search term. And the same applies for the asinator, which is an automation that will go about searching your target reports and identify async products which have not been profitable for you, and we will stop bidding on them. So asinator will take unprofitable asins, unprofitable product targets, and we will add them negative targets in your category ad group, negative targets in your brand ad groups, and negative targets in your auto ad groups. So this is about it for the PGN overview. There is so much more that you should know about PGN, so please keep watching our tutorials. Thank you very much for using Zon Tool, or thank you very much for your interest in Zon Tool. I'll see you in the next video. And be